2 fish, 4 fish, blue fish, orange fish.
How was that?
Tell me what you think of me.
I don't care, you love me.
Rip me off like I'm some kind of freak.
I don't care, you love me.
What's wrong with this society?
I don't care, you love me.
What's wrong with being who I wanna be?
I don't care, you love me.
Don't tell me what you think. She took everything from me. Don't tell me how to feel, but you can't take my pride. So give it all you got. She took everything from me. Give it all to me, but you can't take my pride. Like baby girl, take this world. I can't take this anymore. No, I can't. Take this world. I can't take this anymore. No, I can't. Take this world. I can't take this anymore. No, I can't. Take this world. I can't take this anymore. Try to escape conformity
I don't care, you love me.
because I'm not what you wanna see.
I don't care, you love me.
How can I break anxiety?
I don't care, you love me.
The reason why we don't agree.
I don't care, you love me.
Tell me what to think. She took everything from me. Tell me how to feel, but you can't take my pride. So give it all you got. She took everything from me. Give it all to me, but you can't take my pride. I can't take this word. I can't take this anymore. No, I can't. It's mine. Tell this word. I can't take this anymore. No, I can't. Take this word. I can't take this anymore. No, I can't. It's mine. Take this word. I can't take this anymore.
Welcome, race fans, and tonight the Relentless Racing League is taking it to the West Coast. Tony, I'm going to say it, I really hate to know that this track's no longer actually going to be on the NASCAR schedule anymore after this past season.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and unfortunately they decided to bulldoze it, and apparently they're building another short track over there. I don't know what they're thinking.
They're not thinking. NASCAR just don't think sometimes. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, after last week, hopefully Davey can have a turnaround. These past few weeks have been pretty rough for him.
Well, it's Davey. He'll get it turned around, I'm sure. He always does. He'll be there at the end.
That's what really needs to... That's where you got to be when it's over, is at the end. But man, we know this field's going to be stacked. I mean, we've got 30 taking admins out, about 29 cars lining up for this race tonight.
Yeah, that's a fair estimate, I would say. Yeah, somewhere around 30.
We've got all the way. We've got all three Brandons right now. We're going to be sitting up front on practice, but you know the only Brandon that's been doing some good, and that's going to be Banks. I mean, he's been putting the fire to it this past few weeks.
Yeah, last week Brandon Schaefer kind of ran away with the race, but we'll see if one of the other Brandons can put that car up front and win this thing.
I'm actually thinking I'm going to pull for a dark horse. I mean, everybody knows if you're here every week, you know who I'm pulling for. I mean, the kid's going to win a race, and it's coming here soon.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those tracks where raw speed is going to take you far. The draft is big here, but if you're fast here, you're going to be up front a lot. It's really hard to pass once those tires start wearing in. If you can stick to the front for the first 10 laps or so, you're going to see a lot of people try to pass you, but they're going to burn up their tires doing it.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing right there is your tires. I mean, Auto Club is a fast track. I compare it a lot to Michigan because it's got the speed of it and it's got plenty 5 wide racing you can do it. So it's a draft dependent track, kind of. You ask me.
Absolutely. Straightaways, it's all about the draft. Corners, you're actually trying to get away from other cars. You want that clean air on the front, get that car to turn. What's really going to make things interesting tonight is, well, from my intel, it seems like about 27 laps of fuel is what you get on a run. 100 laps. These guys only have 3 additional sets of tires in the pits, and the stage comes at lap 40. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay out and run it until you need to pit? Are you going to come in and burn up a set of tires and run longer? This could play out very interesting. We're going to see some strategy involved, I believe, and we'll see what strategy wins the race.
I'm gonna say what? That's pretty good fuel strategy right there. Stage at 40. You feel possibly if you push it, maybe lap 30, 31 if you ain't leading, 45 if you're Chad Wiggins. But I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to come into play tonight. Auto Club typically is one of those races that can come down to fuel strategy. So definitely going to see multiple strategies out there. And like I said, I don't know which. If I was running it, I'm not exactly sure how I'd play it. It's kind of a weird spot to be in with the stage at lap 40 and a fuel run at 27 laps.
Yeah, don't get me no line. Shout out to Taz 13W. Dropped in on the chat. I figure it's fixing to start filling up. I mean, we've got what, about 2 minutes, minute and a half. I'm gonna take you somebody though that's gonna be on a mission, and that's gonna be Ed Morris Jr. You talk about bad luck. He is writing the book of it right now.
Yeah, not to mention, we're getting down to playoff time. We only have what
Three races.
two
after
more
tonight,
races.
I believe.
Yeah, I think it's 2 races after tonight. No, just tonight and Talladega before we move into the playoffs.
2 races. Man, this season has flown by.
And you got a lot of people sitting on the outside looking in that are gonna try to gain as many points as they can, maybe a win to advance themselves in. So I mean, you look at that cutoff line right now. We're talking 15 points between, I don't know,
7 drivers.
yeah, 13th to 20th. So yeah, it's go time. Some of these guys need to get points and they need to get them fast. Some of these guys need a win to get in. So
right now,
we're gonna see.
Go ahead.
We're gonna see who's willing to put it all on the line tonight and punch that playoff ticket.
Yeah, Emmanuel's right there. He's on the bubble, sitting at 16th. So, I mean, you've got a lot behind him that just a win here, or even next week, Talladega. That's going to be it. That's a straight up luck show. I mean, we saw that in the Cup this past week when the self-proclaimed super speedway king found victory lane.
Well, and with that being said, you mentioned Emmanuel. I do not see Emmanuel in the field tonight. So that is going to open the door for some of these drivers below 16th place to work their way up into potential playoff contention.
I mean, yeah, from, like you said, from 16th to 25th, there's only 11 points separating them total.
Exactly.
So, and that's got Cody Kinsey, Gary Sack, Morris Sr., Vincent Vaughn, Brandon Hughes, Gatlin Downey, Josh Van Gore, Tony Cavett, Ricky Williams, and Jason Hastings.
Right.
I mean,
And the stage pays out 7 points to the leader at the end of the stage. That could potentially move you from 21st up into 16th.
and if Chad Wiggins can pull his fuel, he's sitting in 27th. I mean, he's what, he's only 42 points out from
Right.
16th. So I mean, it's up in the air, Tony. I mean, these next two races are critical to the playoffs field being set.
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of guys pushing tonight and a lot of guys making moves next week at Talladega. It's going to definitely be pretty dicey out there. So we'll see who's comfortable. They'll probably run a more reserved strategy where these must-win guys, we may see them, try and play a fuel strategy. Maybe, save a set of tires for the end. Maybe be really aggressive on the restarts to get out front. Who knows? But we're going to see a lot of different things tonight.
Well, let me ask you from a driver point of view. Also, you've got two races left. I mean, let's say you ain't got you a win. You're sitting on the bubble pretty much. We'll say the bubble's going to be what, 16th to 25th. You've got two highly draft dependent tracks. I mean, are you throwing it all out there for Auto Club, or are you gonna just hold on to it and throw it all for Talladega?
So for me specifically, if I'm going to be aggressive, it's going to be at Auto Club. Talladega, there's too many variables. The person that you're battling against could get wrecked out on lap one. But Talladega, you have a lot more input on what happens. Or I'm sorry, Auto Club you have a lot more input on what happens. So that's where I would try to gain. I would try to gain that positioning here, and be a little more conservative at Talladega to finish the race.
Well, we're starting to see it. There's the my rookie choice. Yeah, Mr. Preston Hornbeck. Is he just now following this channel? I may have to pick somebody different. I always pull for him, and he's just now following the channel after what, a good year and a half.
Oh, well, I mean, if he's racing, it's hard for him to watch.
Man, I guess we'll let him slide. If he wins, I'll forgive him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, you hear that, Preston? You win, I forgive you. But I mean, right now you've got your, I guess what we say, our usual suspects. We got Hendricks sitting on the pole right now, Park sitting in 2, and we got Hornbeck sitting in P3. So, and Banks don't look like got the qualifying he wanted on that first run.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing some names a little further up than we normally see. Joey Maines is sitting in 6th right now. Greg Rogers in 7th. Normally it's Brandon, Davey, Ed. But we're seeing a couple other ones sprinkled in here, so we'll see.
I'm gonna tell you what, we got a few minutes left before we go green. We're gonna give a shout out to them sponsors, National Anthem, and we're gonna come back to 100 laps, Auto Club 5 wide. We're gonna take an over and under on these cautions tonight. Y'all, we'll be right back.
First thing that's really worked for me to put me to sleep.
Helps relax me when I'm trying to go to bed.
All just really spectacular.
It also helps you put yourself into a routine.
I feel like I'm drinking lemonade. You guys give it a shot.
It works! It works! It's good!
Just try it.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Go, Tony. We're going to have 100 laps of it tonight. I think it's going to be wild.
Yeah, man. Got Davey Hendricks winning the pole tonight.
Preston Hornbeck up into P3 on qualify.
Yeah.
I have to say I think it's his highest qualifying this season.
Well, and judging by our chat, Preston's in a little bit of pain tonight. So him showing up here and racing, suffering, really kind of tells you that he's dedicated to this. So maybe tonight will be his night.
4 wisdom teeth pulled. I remember when I had my wisdom teeth pulled. I ain't even gonna go into details, but man, I was trying to play a PlayStation 2 with the controller backwards. And there drops that green flag, and they are off. Both lines got a good run, it looks like. Preston seems to be struggling just a little bit, but it may take him a few laps to get settled in. Driving wisdom teeth. Woo. Props to him on that one.
Yeah, they're getting spread out pretty early on here. Looking like 3 wide, almost coming off of turn 4. But top 4 cars kind of single filed out and 2 by 2 behind them. I'm curious to see which lane is going to be dominant here in the early runs. I feel like the bottom is going to be fast, but I just don't know how long you're going to be able to run it before you have to start going to that high lane.
Yeah, me personally, I like the high side just because you can get the run and you can maintain the speed, but it's going to eat your tires up pretty quick.
Yeah, it definitely is. Not only that, I mean, earlier in practice, the track temp was a lot hotter than it was off. But early on, it was really slick on that bottom line. Trying to get off the corner, trying to give it a little gas coming off it was pretty sketchy. I think it's probably gotten better. Probably at 15 degrees, so it's not as bad. Oh, big wiggle back here from William Reagan. Somebody didn't know he was there. I can't tell who it was. The 76 kind of looked like he may have came down a little bit and kind of scared William. He cut low so he didn't get wrecked, and they drive on and live another day.
You know what? That's somebody else who got to watch is William. I mean, he is. We saw last week, he was just right spot, right time, and secured a podium.
Yeah, Williams had a really great season. A couple wins racked up. Definitely doing really good this season. We got a battle for the lead up here. Brandon Schaefer and Davey Hendricks side by side.
And you know them two right there are nothing shy of. I don't know if you call it rivalry, but I think it's what it's getting to.
I would definitely say there's some rivalry there. I think that bottom line is working right now. That's where Brandon Schaefer was able to make the pass at. But I don't know how long he's going to be able to run that line.
I mean, you got Hendricks, he's staying up high, and he's got Maines behind him, so he's got the draft. And, you know, Park's up there staying high, too. So Schaefer's by himself on the inside.
Yeah, but he's able to maintain. So he must be able to get a really good run off the corner to at least maintain and not get, not have Davey pull away from him on the straight stretches.
And you can see right there the importance of the draft, how Hendricks was able to get the edge.
Yeah, no, Davey's kind of taking that middle line, which kind of opened the door a little bit for Maines, but Maines just didn't have enough speed to kind of stick it up on the top side there. I think they're all searching for that clean air through the corner. Can see Davey just kind of pulling away now. He's got all the clean air on the front of that car. Then they're going to close back up to him in the straight stretches. See Maines making a run on that high line. He might try to make a pass here.
There's the first bite of it, 3 wide, Hornbeck, Schaefer, and Park.
That high lane, you just carry so much momentum off the corner. We're going to see that more as the tires wear, I believe. I'm not that familiar with this car here, but it seems like every car on this track, as the tires wear, that high lane's where you want to be.
And I'll tell you another one we'll have to watch, and that's Dakota Ondal. He's sitting in the top 10 right now, so.
Yeah, it looks like he's running right behind his teammate, Greg Rogers.
You know, that's another one, Tony, that's had up and down season, Rogers.
Yeah, he kind of had some bad luck at Was it Walking? No, it was one of the road courses where he pitted and passed the pace car and ended up having to serve a green flag penalty. Really messed his race up. He had the speed to win that race, and that one little mistake just kind of ruined it. So he's been trying to bounce back quite a bit here lately. We got a side-by-side battle here for fourth with Brandon Schaefer and Ed Morris Jr. That top line, that draft, you can see Schaefer is able to pull away, but Brandon's able to, or Ed Morris is able to gain some ground back in the corner. But straightaways is what's hurting him. He has no help down there on that lower line.
Especially, you know Park's going to stay up. Well, Banks is trying to get up high behind Schaefer. You know, that's another team right there. We were speaking of earlier, Peters and Schaefer, but I mean the whole Drinking Bros North-South. I mean, it's heating up.
Yeah, it's kind of a full team rivalry, it feels like. Brandon Schaefer went to the bottom line this time. That gave Ed the opportunity to get the high lane, but he couldn't make it work. Looks like he actually got a little squirrely coming off the corner. There's some bumps in turn 4 that really upset the car, but now he doesn't have any help on the high lane. See if he can make this high lane work and at least get side by side. Doesn't look like he's able to carry the corner, the exit speed off the corner yet.
got a good battle going on right there.
Yeah, some of these guys have just been gone from first to fifth, working their way back up. It's just putting your car in the right position at the right time.
And them fighting like that between Maines and Hornbeck, that's gave Hendricks a chance to kind of walk away with it a little bit. He's almost up to the second lead.
Yeah, and the more these guys get side by side, the further Davey Hendricks is going to be able to get out. Joey Maines into the wall into turn 2. That's going to cost him several positions. He's falling back to 6th, 7th, 8th. And that one little bump to the wall is going to kill that whole straight stretch, right? He loses all of his momentum on corner exit, which allows all those other cars to go right around him. And he's in the wall in turn 4. That's going to do it again. That's going to allow the 42 to get by.
Preston's got him another battle going on now. He's having a fight with Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer's able to really make that bottom line work. He's actually going to be able to clear Preston. And Preston is not close enough to even try the crossover.
Preston has got him some help now. And
Seeing those cars get a little wider each lap through the corner.
you're noticing that too, huh?
Yeah. I feel like it's a matter of time before we see some more cars in the wall. I think they all got scared and all went to the bottom line.
They saw Joey wall ride. They did not want to follow him cold.
Kind of a fine line you got to walk when you're on that high lane, because you want to gas it up as early as you can, but if you gas it up too early, the car pushes out to the wall on exit, and then you lose you have to get out of the throttle to stop from going into the wall, and you lose all your speed down the backstretch. Preston tagged the wall a little bit, still in the wall, pulls it off. He's going to get passed by a couple cars here.
That's when we drop him back 4 spots. Let's take a look towards the back of the field. We've been up here watching this front battle up here. These guys back here, they seem to have kind of, spread out. Kinsey's way off pace.
Well, and is that maybe tire strategy, or fuel strategy even?
Ever seen that battle between Cedric and Marshall? Marshall, we kind of had an up and down race last week. Exciting is going right to Dakota and Gary Sack. They're starting to close each other in.
Yeah, it's kind of settled out, it seems like, a little bit here. We got a little bit of battle in, but I think we've seen, most of the aggression come and go. Now it's kind of ride it out, hope you save some tire.
Or if you're Chad Wiggins, save some fuel.
Right.
What is up?
Oh, there's the man himself.
We've got Bobby Rafferty joining us up here in the booth tonight. Bobby, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Just watching our guys. Decently happy with how we're running so far, with Brandon being in the top 5, and Drew is moving his way up slowly but surely.
So, Bobby, let me get your opinion about something here.
Okay.
We were talking earlier about tires and fuel and stage. I'm being told it's about 27, 28 laps of fuel run with what is it, 3 3 additional sets of tires with a stage coming at lap 40. If you're in this position, what's your strategy?
I'm taking tires every time I come down. You have enough tires, and tires mean a lot at this place. Now, the monkey wrench that we could throw in is what I did last season. I proved that 2 tires will work at this place last season. Granted, you know, didn't work 100% for the simple fact that Eric did a phenomenal job last season of stretching fuel and making it where he had to pit one less time. But I don't know if that's going to be possible this season. But my strategy and what I've told my guys, we're taking 4 every time we come down pit road because you have enough tires. It's senseless not to. This place eats tires, so if you don't take them, you're going to be at such a disadvantage. It's going to be insane.
All right. Well, let me ask you this though. With 3 additional sets of tires and 1 that you start on, that's 25 laps a tire set, right?
Yep.
So if you come in, say 25, 27, if you're able to stretch it to 30, whatever it be, then that stage sitting at lap 40. You know, that's kind of an odd spot to have a stage when it comes to tire sets.
Yes,
So,
it is.
So what do? Do you stay out? Do you take tires and run longer later? I mean,
I think me personally, and I still got to talk to the guys about it, but I think you come in, I would say come in and just get fuel on that second, or on the stage, and then go back out, because you're only going to have about 10, 13 laps on that set of tires. And that's going to be your long run on a set.
Right. Well, while we've been talking, we've had a little change for the lead here. Brandon Schaefer was able to get around Davey Hendricks and take the point position.
This place is so much fun to race on and drive. It is absolutely awesome. You have so much room. There's so many different viable lines on this track. I'm hoping that the update coming up, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? I'm hoping that most of the tracks become like this one, where you have multiple different, you know, viable lanes that you can race on.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that update's gonna do. I'll tell you what though, 22 laps in, and some of these lap times have fallen off pretty significantly. We're talking 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap for some of these guys.
I remember it being that bad though last season in the championship race, where the lap times just fell off an absolute cliff. And again, I that's why I'm saying I think tires are going to be king. You know, for tonight.
Right. Save them so you have fresher tires at the end, and hope that you don't go in at a bad time and end up with a caution, you know.
Exactly.
Oh, got some people calling out pits right now.
Yep, and Ed Morris actually just unfortunately just smacked the wall. And you'll get that when you're running such high speeds here, and you lose so much side bite in these cars as a run goes on. The car will just drift up, and you're just a passenger on at that point, especially coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, it seems like that right front tire just does not want to grip.
No, it definitely does not want to behave. That's for sure. But I think we're going to see some differing strategies here. I think you're seeing guys coming in a little bit early, and I think you're going to see guys are going to run this set as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, I just saw Ed Morris tap the wall again.
Junior got the wall that time.
But I'll tell you what, look who's sitting up there right now. That 3rd spot. Actually, looks like 2nd spot, maybe?
I think Bobby may know that
Gary.
driver.
Yep, that's Gary Sack. But
Oh,
I
he's a lap
do,
down. He pitted.
I was
Okay.
gonna say I do, and this is your perfect right here. If you're watching this, this is your perfect example of fresh compared to worn tires. The amount of speed difference there is just insane. It's great getting a new set of tires at Auto Club in the Xfinity car because you just feel like Superman.
But with that being said, Gary was able to unlap himself, so should a caution come out now, that would he'd still be at a slight disadvantage, but he'd gain all that track position.
Exactly. And actually, no, I think if we had a caution come out right now with him being on the lead lap, he would cycle to the lead, wouldn't he?
Right. Yeah, he'd start at the front, but he'd be on a little bit older tires than some of these guys, so he'd be at a slight disadvantage, but he'd gain all the track position.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Several takers coming down pit road right now. Looks like
This is that cycle.
Schaefer, Banks. I think Greg Rogers may have been one of those. There was several of them that came in this lap, so I have a feeling they're getting to the end of that fuel run, which matches the intel I received earlier.
Well, the one to really watch, and he's already pitted, and that's going to be Chad. So he pitted at 24, so when it comes down to fuel strategy, that's going to be the guy I'm going to follow.
Now, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, last season Chad was insanely fast here.
If I remember correctly, he saved fuel. He stretched it further than anybody thought he could.
He stretched it, but he was also very, very quick doing it, which was the thing that was the most mind-boggling to everybody. Chad has something figured out specifically at this place. That's it's great to see, at least for me, because I absolutely love Chad.
Like we've got several that have not pitted yet. Stretching this out a little longer. Looks like they're coming in now. Cedric, Sylvan, Ricky Williams is coming in.
It's going to be it right there. And it's going to suckle the lead back to, well, the battle for the lead between Park and Sack.
Got Schaefer right behind them as well. I think Davey stayed out a little longer than some of these guys, so he lost a little bit of track position there, but he's got fresher tires.
Sack going to record leading the lap.
Well, we were talking about the points. That's a bonus point, right? Leading the lap.
He's sitting right there in one of those spots, 18th in points. So,
And that's it. This season, especially in Xfinity, I still, Xfinity to me is the absolute toughest series that we have this season. It has so many guys that are capable of winning, and you see that reflected in the points. The points battle, especially going for that playoff spot, is super, super, super tight, and it's really cool to see.
I think we had like 11 points separating like 10 positions or something like that. It was, yeah. And one of the last two races before the playoffs start. Tell you who's on the move right now is that 37 car. He's able to he's got the high lane working. Now he is on a little bit fresher tires, but he's marching.
he last pitted at 23. But
oh, so maybe he was one of the early ones to pit.
I think he was one of the early ones to pit.
Because right now he's still showing me as a lap down.
He is first car lap down.
If he pitted that early, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I'm thinking something must have happened for him to be.
He must have had a penalty or something because yeah, you would think he'd be at the front.
Let me check his laps here. He had a minute 56 pit for some reason. So he definitely had a
Maybe
speeding
fix
penalty.
or fix some damage. But
Something.
man, that's.
Well, good news for him is, we've got stage coming up here in 9 laps, and he's gonna be the wave around car.
Yep, he's the only car lap down at the moment.
Yep. So his night is far from over. Go take that wave around, and yeah, you're gonna have 29 cars to pass in front of you. But the good news is there's only one place to go, and that's forward.
And there's plenty of laps left. The stage comes out at lap 40. I'll give him roughly 56, 55 laps potentially under green to go ahead and start moving back through the field.
Well, hopefully we don't jinx it. We stayed green flag. We've got about 7 to go before the stage, so we're gonna do a little cranking it up. So put y'all's earplugs in. Y'all know that's the best alarm clock you can ever hear in the morning.
Man, but I will tell you what, Gary Sack. I checked I checked the gap about 3 laps ago when he was 3 seconds ahead. Now he's 5 seconds ahead. So it makes me kind of curious to see if he's pushing his tires here and he's going to take another set at stage, and these other guys are just kind of hanging back, conserving. But he's gained two seconds in the last few laps. But with that said, he needs those points. So if he wins the stage, that's 7 points.
Yeah, that's going to be a big boost for him. That will easily put him inside the playoffs.
Well, and I don't see many of the drivers that he's battling for the playoffs in the top 7 right now. So that is an even bigger benefit should he win that stage.
Yeah, I mean, Emmanuel, he's on the bubble. He's not here. Kinsey, he's sitting in 17th in points, but looks like he's running 18th right now. So that's no stage points.
Just watching the attitude of Gary's car and how he's driving it is very smooth, very under control. So I definitely feel that he's pushing, but he's not pushing to the point of out of control where he's really gonna burn his stuff up to the point of no return.
And that's a good thing. You can see on the tower that he's given up a little bit of time to these guys. So maybe he's backing it off a little bit, saving a little bit of tire. No sense in leading by 10 laps with stage in 3 laps, or by 10 seconds when the stage is in 3. Got a 3 wide battle back here for 21st place.
It's heating up right there.
So I'm thinking that some of these guys may have taken fuel only there. Judging by some of these lap times. John Nidek, after he pitted, he's running 42.7s, where the leaders are running 40.41s. So maybe John took only fuel there. I'm not sure.
I'm seeing a lot of pit times ranging all the way from 15 seconds down to 9 seconds. So
right.
That tells you right there who took tires and who didn't. And there's some that's 11 seconds. So, that's right sides.
bright sides do work at this track.
Well, and if you're able to maintain on the lead lap without taking tires there, you know, that gives you a set for a late race caution.
Hendricks is in the last stage point position.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got him by about half a second, so he's probably pretty comfortable right there. Probably not going to catch Brandon Banks in front of him.
Yeah, but he's got to worry about Preston Hornbeck coming on the high.
On the outside. Preston's going to steal that point from him.
Yes, he did.
Preston just sent the stamp in Air Express. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow, Preston just sent it on the outside, able to wrap that outer wall and just send it and gain a stage point.
So we got some really big movers tonight as well. Obviously Gary with his early pit went from 20th to 1st, but we also have Cody Riggs going from 24th to 11th, Ricky Williams 27th to 12th.
Ed Morris
senior 31st to 14th. So a lot of guys are making moves.
And I have to assume that those guys took tires on that pit stop.
Absolutely.
I think some of the ones that you saw maybe fall, like say a Dakota Orndorff started 8th, is now 15th. Maybe he saved a set. Can't confirm that, but I mean, or maybe he had some issues. I don't know. But we're really going to see what's going to happen after this stage, because we're going to see people either conserving or they have an extra set of tires in the bank and they're going to be aggressive.
This is what I like to call the 7th inning stretch right here. Because hopefully we're going to have a long green flag run.
As predicted, William Reagan got the wave around, so he stays out. Michael Kirby is also lapped down. I would be curious to see if he's gonna. No, he's coming into pits.
It's been clean and green so far, so while they're doing pit stops, we're going to give a shout out to some of these people that pay our bills, Cutscene and Whiplash. We'll be right back after this.
Been the first thing that's really worked for me to put me to sleep.
Helps relax me when I'm trying to go to bed.
All just really spectacular.
It also helps you put yourself into a routine.
I feel like I'm drinking lemonade. You guys give it a shot.
It works! It works! It's good!
Just try it.
Well, it's been cycled, and it's looking like Gallon Downey's going to be sitting up there in the front.
Yeah, it sounds like there may have been a little glitch in iRacing, so I'm not sure what happened there. But I was a little concerned with Cody Riggs coming out of pits. It almost looked like he may have come up on the track a little bit, but I don't see a black flag, so he may have gotten away with it. he come out of the pit side by side, and it looked like that right front tire went over the white line towards the track, but nothing showing up for black flags.
Well, maybe iRacing's having, I don't know, what was it say, sponsor luck. He's got that Jab-It PC car out there tonight. So,
Maybe that might be it.
so if you're needing computer parts, man, look them up. If not, their number is popping up through chat. Call them. I spoke with them. They've got some pretty good deals. I'm process of getting a video card from them. So
Yeah, Jab-It PC's been a part of the league for quite a while. This season they came on board as the Xfinity Series sponsor, but they've been within the league as a sponsor for Cody Riggs for, well, since he's been in the league. So they've been kind of hanging around here. Seem like a really good company to do any business with. I know they do security cameras. They do all kinds of stuff. So check them out.
County got loose on that restart.
Yeah, there was a couple wiggles there. Cody Riggs looked like he had a little bit of a wiggle. Now he's got put 3 wide. Luckily it's Auto Club, plenty of room for that.
Preston is sending it with a crossover.
3 wide coming out of turn 2.
3 wide, Tony. I'm seeing 5, 4, and 5 wide back there towards the back.
I mean, it's Auto Club, man. There's room. That's not a car that I would choose to do that in, just because these cars get really tight. But hey, if they can make it stick, more power to them. 3 wide, 2 rows deep.
So much action everywhere. I feel sorry for the cameraman trying to keep up with all of it.
It is a hornet's nest back here from about 7th on back.
Oh, Mains is loose.
Oh,
Mains.
76 goes down pit road.
Tony Cavett involuntarily.
He will probably get a black flag for that, and it will probably be cleared because he kind of wrecked down pit road.
You just heard they had ice cream.
Well, he made a dive for it.
I just heard race control come over comms and say they were going to clear it. Nothing he did there wrong, just avoided a wreck and went down pit road. Didn't cause a caution.
He done it wisely.
Absolutely. I was surprised he made it down pit road. He was coming in there with a head of steam.
Yeah, it's...
Like I said, he heard they had ice cream.
Oh,
and he
4
wanted to
wide. Brandon Hughes, Drew Holman, the 4 car, the 35 car. 35 is dropped like a rock. I don't believe he took tires, though. I think he was staying out to take the wave around, and it ended up cycling him to the front. I don't think he was actually lapped down, but I think that's where the confusion was. 3 wide with Dakota Orndorff. Cody Kinsey. Looks like Joey Mains is in that mix.
We have another huge pack that's going 3-4 wide right behind it. Further back, it looks like they're finally starting to settle out, but it's spicy.
It's
as
definitely
Tony would
spicy.
say.
Definitely
It's
spicy.
all over.
Oh, 33 gives a 19 a nice little pump there.
Yeah, moves are definitely being made right now. Well, and we're gonna see who didn't take tires, right? They're gonna fall pretty quick to these guys on fresh tires. But we'll see them rebound later in the race.
I know we did a split strategy. Cody took tires on his first pit stop, did not on stage, and you're seeing the repercussions of that. He was all the way up inside the top 10 and now has dropped back to 20th.
Right, but he's got that extra set in the bank.
He's got that extra set in the bank now.
It's getting a Nice little push right there from Nidek.
See Josh Vangor behind them. He was getting close to him. I don't think he wanted to press his luck, so it looked like he lifted a little bit.
At this point, Josh just wants to finish a race.
I don't blame him.
If we had a League Hard Luck Award, and I'm not just saying this because it's one of my guys, because trust me, that's not an award that I want to have as a team owner. But if we had a league-wide hard luck award, I think Josh would be very high up in the running for it.
If there's a wreck, he's in it. That's what it seems like.
And 90% of the time, it has nothing to do with him.
Absolutely.
He's also one of your drivers that's making that transition too from dirt to oval.
Yes. Yeah, Josh started out in the sim years ago on dirt. When dirt first came out, took a hiatus from iRacing. You know, obviously being a father and work, you know, things got to come before this crazy hobby of ours that are a lot more important. But he decided to come on back when we started up Exiled Esports outside of the league. And, you know, he wanted to come try something different. And the improvement level that he's shown from when he first started in ARCA to now has been leaps and bounds. It's just, you know, he literally got thrown into the lion's den holding a piece of steak when he came into the Xfinity series. Because, as I said earlier, this series is just filled with absolute killers. Everybody is fast in this series.
And speaking of killers, check out that top three. Brandon Schaefer, Brandon Banks, Ed Morris. 0.2 difference between the three of them.
Yep.
They are right on top of each other, waiting for one of them to slip up so the other ones can capitalize. And Davey Hendricks is pulling himself into this picture.
Yeah, we know it's fixing to get interesting. These two teams right here have had beef all season long, and I do not expect anything to be different right through here, especially, 47 to go.
One thing I will say to that, though, is out of everybody, I don't think I have ever seen Ed Morris get mad. He started with us during my ARCA season and came in great attitude and just ungodly fast. He was one of the only ones to dethrone me and Jacob Denson from winning races, and me and Jacob both were sitting there looking at each other like, where did this guy come from? So, but he's, like I said, I've never seen him mad. He's an unbelievably clean driver. He's a joy to be around.
Gary's back. You know, we saw him pit early and go up to the front, able to maintain in 5th right now. So whatever he did, he was able to flip the field and run up front with these guys.
And right now, he's proven he should be up there because Brandon Park was running well within the top 3 in that first stage, and Brandon just cannot seem to get around him. Gary's holding his own 100%. He's doing a great job tonight.
Yeah, Gary's definitely shown quite a bit of improvement recently. He's definitely putting it together.
Yeah, definitely. The light switch definitely got flipped on at some point this season because he's been up front more times than not. And again, like I said, it's really, really cool to see that because Gary's a good guy.
I hear he sings a mean karaoke as well.
Might have to put that to the test if he podiums tonight. I will demand a karaoke. I mean, we are towards Christmas, so maybe a Christmas song to stay festive?
Maybe.
Well, you've got to be able to sing, especially when you're a Detroit fan. You got to have some.
Please, let's not talk about football. When it comes to football, I'm in the fetal position in the bathroom crying right now.
That's what I was going to say. Speaking of football, your Jets last night. I mean, 5 points?
I mean, it's pretty sad when we lead the league in forced safeties and we're the last in the league for offensive touchdowns. I give up. I give up. I don't want to talk about it.
But if you missed it last night, how about them Packers?
I heard they had a good game. I ended up passing out relatively early last night, and to be honest with you, I didn't even watch the Jets game yesterday because I knew what it was going to be. I've kind of given, I hate to say it, I've kind of given up on football till the playoffs, and then I'll just sit down and watch the games just for fun.
Packers put a whooping on them Kansas City Chiefs.
That makes me happy considering I still say that the Jets got robbed of the Kansas City game. We won that game.
Yeah, you want to talk about robbed? I'll get it stirred up real quick. Florida State.
Oh, yes. I'm sure Barkley is still fuming about that one.
See, that's out of my wheelhouse, being from the Northeast. College football, coming in this league, one thing I definitely learned of stuff outside of motorsports, college football is absolutely huge. Apparently everywhere else in the country except for the Northeast. Northeast, you never hear us talking about college football, ever.
Yeah, them Florida State boys went undefeated and did not make it into the playoffs.
How does that... Okay, make that make sense to me. Please, make that make sense to me.
I can't.
I will.
I can't.
I will. Because Bama's a media child just like Ohio State.
Oh, damn. Shots fired. Now, Alabama's that those Roll Tide guys, right?
Yeah,
that they are.
That's your family.
God.
It's a family tradition right there.
I'm sorry, if you go undefeated, you should at least be in the playoffs. Just saying.
And yeah. I kind of got to agree with what Stanley's saying out there. Their starting quarterback got hurt. But at the same time, and I'm an SEC pusher, but I would have rather seen Florida State in there than Alabama.
And for those of our watchers, we're talking about football because right now everybody's single file, not a lot going on. So we figured we'd change it up just a little bit.
Looks like the only position that's really changed inside the top 10 is Brandon Park was finally able to get around Gary, but Gary is he's not letting him run away. That's for sure.
No, we got Ricky Williams too. You know, he's one we ain't spoke of much, but you know, right now he's the biggest mover up 20 spots.
Marshall Harris disconnected. No incident, just pulled down pit road and quit. So I don't. Maybe he had something going on. I'm not sure. Nope. T-Stan wants a ride along. With Momed 09.
Well, Gary. We'll go with Gary. I can live with that one right there. I will say this though, y'all. I'm pretty sure. Ooh, I thought he was fixing to get inside, park there for a second, but Gary's probably happy too, because Michigan is where they should be.
Yeah, they've had a really dominant season from what I've seen. I don't watch a lot of college football, but I kind of follow it here and there, and it sounds like they've been having a great season.
I'm sure somebody's going to come up with that sign stealing comment here in a minute, but
well, 63 laps down. Gotta be getting close to pit stops, I gotta think.
Yeah, right about there. The one thing I'm riding on board with Gary right now. The one thing that's worrying me is him entering the corner so low, and how that's going to take an effect on that right front tire, because he's really, really driving in the corner a lot lower than the rest of the guys.
I noticed that as well, but he's able to hold it, which really surprises me. That time obviously went a little wide there, but he's able to make it work. And as long as he's been out on tires, apparently it's not giving up too bad. You know,
It's very similar to the line I ran the last 10 laps of last year's race, but the only way I thought I could do that was on those 2 tires because it would loosen the car up. Maybe with the way the setup is this season, you're able to do that.
looks like he's really kicking that back end sideways on exit though, so maybe he's powering down just enough to get that right rear spinning just a little bit.
Well, again, you guys remember seeing how sideways I had my car, but
Right.
that was literally all she had.
I was gonna say, if you was listening during that cockpit run, you could hear those tires they was screaming pretty good.
Yeah. But hey, he's making it work. So hats off to him.
Yeah, it looks like he's given up 1 spot since, you know, we checked on him last time. He was in 5th. He fell back to 6th. So definitely making it work, whatever he's doing.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Absolutely.
If it's broke, throw some duct tape on it.
See,
Duct tape or zip ties.
see a little gap forming here between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but the gap between 3rd and 4th is definitely closed up. Davey Hendricks is caught up to Ed Morris Jr. So we'll see if he's able to make it around him before the pit stop comes.
Now, one thing I am noticing, Gary right now is clutching going into the corners. He just started doing this, so I'm wondering, is he trying to stretch this where he's only going to have to make 1 more pit stop?
You know, we see the 2 car coming out of pit road right now. He definitely might be, because if he can get to, say, lap 72, 73 maybe, he'll be good.
Be good to go. Yep.
I'm gonna tell you the one that's gonna be to watch this run here is, and we talk about him all the time in his fuel strategy. That's gonna be Wiggins. That's gonna be the real telltale sign of how far you can stretch a fuel run here.
Davey just got around Ed Morris Jr.
Ed is on his bumper, pushing him through the tri-oval.
That's 2 teammates doing a good job working together right there. That was a pretty seamless position swap. With how hard Davey drove it down in the corner, I thought he might have cleared Banks as well.
Yeah, he's definitely catching up to Banks now. He's able to pull away from Ed Morris Jr., get a little closer to Banks. We'll see what he can do in the next couple corners. Sounds like we might have a couple cars pitting here.
Yep.
And you know, I hate to say it, and this may be a far-fetched throw, but Morris and Hendricks may be trying to stick to the inside to keep Banks from being able to pit when his teammate does.
Well, I think Banks is just a little more comfortable. He came down half track to kind of defend a little better. Now it sounds like he's getting low to maybe pit. But Davey's been kind of running the bottom line this whole run as well, it seemed like. And he's able to. Oh, we got some more pitters coming, but he's definitely making it work.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the field is coming by this time.
3
So
to
we're
54. 54 locks him up.
Now, unless we get a caution, now is when the strategy is going to come into play, because they're not going to be able to make it from here without a caution. So you do a splash and go? Do you throw 2 tires on? It's going to be very interesting to see what guys do.
Well, and not only that, if they took tires in that first stop and at stage, this is their last set. So
this is their last set.
They may only, depending on their situation, they may have to just do a splash and go.
Oh yeah, I just heard the clutch hit on Gary, so yeah, he's in save mode. Bobby, your driver got a little wiggity coming into the trioval there.
Which one? I've got 4 of them.
Park.
I believe Park just came out of pits, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so he's fresh tires coming off the corner. She's gonna get a little squirrely on you if you're running that bottom line, even on the top
Man.
line.
Gary is just called. He's coming down into the pits this time. Same thing with William and Cedric. So they're right on.
They
the
might
number.
be able to make it. They save a little bit. They might be able to make it.
That might be the race-winning move right there, gentlemen.
Well, and I'm thinking, right, we're thinking 27, 28 laps a run. You should be able to save a lap or two, to make it to the end.
Yeah, you definitely can at this place.
But you're
you
relying on everybody else not to be able to save that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you lose to save that fuel. You give up an absolute ton. But if you can make it work, it's 100% worth it. You look at what Warman did last season. Warman won the race, I think I finished 4th, and I was 30 seconds behind him with making that one extra stop.
And if my intuition is correct, that would be Gary's last set of tires. I believe he took tires at the first pit stop and the stage. So this would be his 3rd set. So he's out of tires. So he's kind of made his bed, right? He's got to run it to the end or do a splash and go. But I'll tell you what, Davey Hendricks is all over the 54's bumper. He's going to try and make this pass into turn 1.
Yeah, but the more he sits there and battles with Banks, Schaefer's getting further and further away. I mean, he's up to 2.5 seconds right now.
Schaefer definitely gained a lot on that pit stop. I'm not sure what the interval was coming in, but he definitely, 2.5 seconds ahead right now?
So what I'm seeing is Brandon did not put up a fight whatsoever, and it looks like he is, in my opinion, he looks like he's in fuel conservation mode already.
Yeah, I agree. You see the 2 in the 07 getting to him real quick. Oh, the 2 just spun the 07 in the front stretch. Hooked him in the left rear and spun him into the wall.
We was actually on that when it happened.
I think this is going to be one of those rare times that you're going to see a very, very upset Ed Morris Jr. And my personal opinion, I cannot blame him whatsoever.
Think back and see what happened there.
I mean, I don't see the 07 move at all. He's staying on that seam right there, and the 2 car just came down and hooked him.
I don't know if the 2 car was trying to ride on his right rear corner to try to side draft a little bit, but yeah, that. I know we're supposed to be impartial, but I can't put any of that whatsoever on Ed.
I didn't see Ed even move off of that seam.
Yeah, that was a rough one right there. And that's really fixing to shake everything up, especially, man, if some of these guys would have waited maybe 1 lap longer.
Well, I don't think any of them really could.
We've got them pitting again. We know fuel's not an issue. This is fixing to be hard-nosed racing.
Yep, everyone can definitely make it from here. I'd be curious to see who's going to stay out. I think you're going to see some that had just pitted stay out and try to maintain that track position.
We have a few guys coming down.
See the 28 of Greg Rogers, the 89 of Gary Sack, the 42 of Dakota Orndorff all stayed out.
Seeing a lot of gas and goes. Seeing looks like Park, Neidig, and Maines took tires. Oh, passing it up. We got 25 to go, boys. This is going to get wild.
Auto Club never disappoints.
You've got to watch it too. You've got Cedric and Vincent. It's both sitting 5th and 6th. Brandon Hughes up 28 spots. Sack up 18, but you know, like I already said, they didn't pit.
Yeah, and some of these guys, you know, had just pitted 2 laps before. 3 laps, 4 laps, whatever it be. You know, so there was no point for them to pit there. This is going to get them there in fuel, and their tires are brand new. Why not try and, you know, get that track position and see if you can maintain it?
One thing I will do here is I'll take off my non-biased hat for 2 seconds and say I'm sitting here doing a happy dance to see Greg Rogers leading this race right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy Greg's up there. You know, he had that bad luck at, I can't remember what road course that was we were
Indy.
at. Indy, yeah.
Indy.
And
he had that one.
Yep, he had the speed to get it done, and made that one little mistake going into pit road, passed the pace car, and had to serve that black flag, and kind of ruined his whole race.
The one thing that I will say about stuff like that, though, that you always hear about learning moments that, you know, a learning moment that you never forget. That is 1,000% one of those, because I'll guarantee you Greg never, ever, ever makes that mistake ever again.
I 100% agree.
And, you know, at least for my team, it was a learning moment for all of us also, because when we raced at Tsukuba, it was the same thing where you had the ability to pass the pace car if you weren't careful, and we were screaming, don't pass the pace car, don't pass the pace car.
Well, that's going to shake up our front runners significantly here. Brandon Schaefer was in the lead at the time of the caution, and he is in 14th.
Schaefer, Hendricks, and Bank are all back there 14, 15, 16, fresh tires, but they got a field to drive through.
That's a lot of cars.
Tighten your belts, boys. It's about to get spicy, I think.
Inside lane got a really good run. Settled for, it looks like, is that Gatlin Downey that kind of did not get a good restart.
I believe so.
Kind of checked up with 37 and everybody behind them.
Here's the charge coming. Schaefer, Banks, and Hendricks.
Yeah, Schaefer all the way up to, what is that, about 8th or 9th there.
Sitting 10th.
Oh, a couple cars into the wall. 37 William Reagan. And I think that may have been Vincent.
Yeah, it looks like Holman and Wiggins are battling door to door pretty heavy.
Yeah. Fender to fender.
Looks like the big loser on all of this out of our front runners is Brandon Park. He's all the way back in 23rd and really not making up too much ground here.
But I'll tell you what, those front four are driving away.
One of these times where you go run away and hide.
Absolutely.
You get a little bit of contact there between Cedric and Gary's not giving it up. Gary's running hard on his outside, a little bit more door banging.
Greg Rogers able to stretch it out to almost a half a second.
Just looking at Cedric's card here too, I just realized something being an old school IndyCar / kart fan. If anybody in the chat can figure out where that throwback paint scheme is from, or who, name one driver that drove that paint scheme and the significance of that paint scheme at this track, would be pretty cool.
Brandon Schaefer up to 7th, but struggling to get around. Oh, what is that? Drew Holman right there.
Yeah, Schaefer's making his move. He's got away from Banks a little bit, Hendricks, but
Yeah, it seems like he's really backing up his corner. And so, but what he gains back, it seems like, is not. He gains some back, but he doesn't have anywhere to go with it. Now he's got the inside lane underneath Holman. He's been running that bottom lane all night, so he'll probably make this work. Cut down to the apron, then the tri-oval, and try to outbreak him into turn 1.
we know Schaefer can drive through a field. We've seen him do it, so.
He's drifting that car out of turn 2.
That back end's getting loose.
Drew's not giving it up. Drew's coming right back.
Drew's going to do what he can. And the more they battle... Oh, Drew clipped the apron.
Oh, he did a phenomenal job not to kill Schaefer there.
I just hope he doesn't get run over from the backside, but
No,
Greg
everybody got
Rogers...
around him.
Greg Rogers' lead has diminished to next to nothing. Dakota is on his bumper.
You talked about Cedric, Bobby. He's making that move on the high side right now.
Yep. I didn't see anybody queue up in the chat, so I'll give everybody the quick backstory on that paint scheme. That's the old player's paint scheme in the kart series, and that scheme was run by Greg Moore in his last race, where he unfortunately passed away at this track. So Greg Moore was a Canadian driver, so I'm wondering if that's kind of a memorial, because Greg Moore was a literal hero, as well as Paul Tracy, to the Canadians when it came to that series. So being an old kart guy, that's really, really cool to see that scheme out on the track.
Speaking of that scheme, he's able to make the pass and drive away. Gary Sack making a charge for 3rd.
Yeah, and look who else is on the inside charging.
Yep, Brandon Schaefer made his way up to 5th now as he clears the 17 of Chad Wiggins. Chad's going to try. Oh, 3 wide.
Here it goes.
Guys, unfortunately, I've got to bow out. Daddy duty is calling.
Take care of the kids.
Have a good night, and we'll catch you later.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good rest of the race.
You know, the 3 that we was watching there, Holman gets to the wall, but the 3 that we was watching move up to the field, they're still right there together.
Yeah, they're kind of hanging on each other there. What would that be? Well, Schaefer's going to send it in and pass the 42, looks like. 42's going to try and battle back on the outside. He's not going to be able... Oh, a little banging. They get it straightened out.
Schaefer is after it.
He is on a mission right now. We got 13 laps to go.
I hate to say it, Tony. I hate to say it, but if we're gonna have a caution, it's gonna be in this pack right here, probably running about third to seventh.
I agree. There's a lot of different strategies there. You know, Brandon Schaefer, 54 Brandon Banks, Davey Hendricks, all on fresh tires. Everybody else around them stayed out.
Wiggins just slid up the track.
Looks like the 54 may have dropped down to help his teammate there in the straightaway and then kind of dove off of him to get that clean air on the front of the car. 33 of John Neidick and the 15 of Drew Holman racing bumper to bumper here.
Zach's not going down without a fight.
Yeah, I just think that they're, you know, the two teammates are helping each other in the straightaways with the draft. Gary runs that high lane. He's going to try and keep it throttled up and keep the momentum going so he can come back and fight him into turn 3. They've all caught Cedric.
Yeah, Zach's
so
in a bad spot. He pretty much got stuck.
Yeah, but with Cedric going to that middle line, that kind of doesn't hurt him as bad, right? He's able to get to that high lane, but now he's got to get somewhere. Oh, what's it? Gary Sack trying to get around Cedric, and Brandon Banks was there. A little banging, but Cedric trying to battle back on the top.
Zach's going on the top tire.
Ooh, that was a close one. Cedric got a little squirrely trying to keep it off of Gary Sack, and
Cedric
almost,
ain't got
still
it yet.
almost taken out that 54 car several times. Gary Sack able to clear.
Well, you know, Banks is puckering right there.
Oh, absolutely. Now, can Gary Sack get back up to Brandon Schaefer? Now that he's got, you know, he's got around Cedric. He's going to cut to that low line. We'll see what he can do here. Looks like he's gaining on him a little bit. We'll see what it does down the straight stretch if he's able to keep the momentum. Giving up a little bit, it looks like.
Cedric is still fighting that car.
Yeah, he's got his hands full right now. Three wide with the 14 and the 28. Cedric into the wall a little bit. It's going to check up. Well, outside lane's trying to make some evasive maneuvers to get around him. Looks like they all cleared him. And Gary is making that bottom line work. I think Brandon Schaefer sees that. He's putting his car down there on exit to take that clean air away.
Wiggins looking to make a move.
Not able to carry the speed off the corner to be able to
Hendrick's
go Davey
in the wall.
Hendrick. Little bit. He's got it gathered up, lost some momentum. That's going to be tough to get back, though. 76 is on his outside. He's going to try and make the pass up there.
Like Matt said out there, Sack attack is sending it. Wiggins is sideways, straightens it out.
And Davey Hendricks slid up in front of that 76. There was not much room there. Gary Sack looks like he's falling back a little bit. 54 is going to be trying to make a move to get around him. Cuts down to the apron.
Banks is doing everything he can to get around that. Oh, Quebec.
76. Yeah,
He just
38.
returned the favor.
14 is there. Davey thinks better of it. Going to kill his momentum off the corner, though. It's going to allow Brandon Park to get around.
And Sack is in defense mode now.
Five laps to go.
I'm gonna tell you what, Schaefer's probably enjoying seeing these guys back this because that's just opening up a little bit more and more, giving him a comfort zone.
I agree with you, man. I do think he burned him up. He's holding on for dear life right now, doing everything he can to stay in that position.
But you know, you can only block for so long before you just gotta give.
Yeah, he might get split on both sides now. See the 76 going up. Wasn't able to hold the bottom, had to get out of it. It's gonna give the position back to the 89. 76 slid up, kind of made the 54 slide up into the wall along with the 14.
Unless these guys in 2, 3, and 4 start working together, I think Schaefer's going to be able to walk away with this one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's got anything for him. They've been battling hard back here just to try and get back up to him. I think they're going to burn up their tires before they even have a chance to really push, make that late run push. '76 battling back for that third spot. Almost got in the wall. That's going to open the door for the 54. Maybe even the 38.
They are playing close.
Well, it's that time of the race. They're going for it. 14, 17, 38, 3 wide. 17's got the momentum. 38's coming off the corner momentum. He might actually clear the 14 here. Gonna open the door. Oh, 14 closes that door on Greg Rogers.
You've got a few they're wearing them down right now.
Oh.
They're leaving it all on the track.
Yep, they're going for everything they can get right now. Caution.
Cody Riggs. Looks like Cody Riggs went off track. Oh no, this is really gonna shift everything up. What happened, Tony? Let's see.
Not sure, man. I'm going back to look.
Looks like I might have been a little Netco Cedric. They both kind of met in the middle.
Yeah, Cody came up. Cedric came down, it looked like.
But when he started the spin, you was still able to see air in a gap in between them. So, oh man, Schaefer did not want to see that. And here we go. This is going to be the side factor right here. This is what it's going to be down to, Tommy.
That 30 car came down quite a bit looking at it now. Maybe thinking he was trying to keep it out of the wall. But he definitely came down.
Schaefer did not want that, but I'm pretty sure Hendricks did.
Definitely a little bit of net code there, but that was an aggressive move by the 30. Yes, that's not only Hendricks, but also Gary Sack.
And that was right inside the green white checker window.
Oh, Gary Sack staying out. Brandon Schaefer coming down pit road. This is going to be interesting.
Looks like, I caught a little bit of it. Looks like Banks almost got into Hendricks coming into the pit. Banks decided a little late.
Yeah, and I saw Hendricks lock up the brakes a little bit there, too.
2 or 4.
Depends on what you got. I mean, if you were close on fuel, probably you might not even have any tires left. Oh, Matt, I agree. It's definitely about to get spicy.
Oh, that's an understatement.
See at least 5 cars that stayed out. And some of those guys that were close on fuel, what's this do to their fuel strategy? You know, I see a couple of them diving down to the apron. Chad Wiggins, a 37 of William Reagan, diving down to the apron, probably clutching it, trying to save a little bit of fuel. You know what they say, caution, speed, caution. So this may not be the last green-white checkered we have.
And Schaefer, you got Schaefer, Quebec, Banks. I mean, everybody except for the top 7 pit and took tires. I mean, yeah, pit times are 14 to 15 seconds. So that's telling me right there that's a set of tires they just burnt through.
Right. And with 2 laps to go, that restart zone is going to be Gary Sack's best friend.
Oh, Gary can, man. Out of those top 7 that's on older tires, him and Chad, even Nidek. Well, I mean, that whole bunch of 7, they've been running it pretty good on old tires.
Well, and you know, if we have anybody who's close on fuel and runs out, you know, what's that going to do to everybody behind them, especially on this restart?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sack and Wiggins, we know, are definitely clutching.
I believe William Reagan is as well, from what I saw him diving down to the apron.
Hendricks came out in 12th.
That's about 4th out of the ones. He was 4th out of the ones that pitted, so.
I'm going to tell you right now, Tony, Gary Sack he's fixing to be 4 wide because he's going to be defending the high side all the way down to the inside. What an apron.
Yeah, and I see that your dark horse got a black flag. I don't know what for, but I can see it in iRacing, so. But green flag's coming.
Here we go.
Gary got a great start. The 17 did not go.
Oh.
That checked up the whole inside. Ed Morris goes around, takes out the 76,
there it
the
is.
4, the 6.
Oh, we got Newbraw, Hastings, Vincent. I believe Wiggins spun the tires, or was it in front of him?
And now I don't know if he spun them or just didn't go. I wasn't close enough to see, but it kind of started with him. Checked up that whole inside row, it seemed like.
See if we can get a view here on it. There we go. Let's look right here on this chopper to kind of get a.
Oh yeah, he spun them. Saw his car veer right.
Yeah, it kicked
and he had
right.
to check up. Yep.
Right there in front of William too, and Senior on the receiving end, I believe, was the worst part of that. Well, I take that back. Looks like, ooh, Banks up the track.
We got a first time chatting here. I can't pronounce the name, but welcome.
He is Kaiser, maybe.
I'm not even going to try and butcher it. I'll just say welcome.
Man, this is fixing to shake it all up, Tony.
Well, and now, you know, we were talking about fuel before. You know, now we got more laps. Granted, they're under caution, but what's that going to do to these guys?
And Clark able to make his way through it. but still, man, you got Nidec, Park, Williams on old tires, and you got Schaefer, Hendricks, and Bank. I guess Banks was able to recover somewhat. Looked like he took a pretty hard lick going up to the track. Zach, he had to come in and get some fuel. Yeah, Gary's got a lot of track to make up.
But that puts somebody who we haven't talked about much up there, and that's John Nidec.
Can this be the one, Tony?
It might be. I mean, I think he's going to be put 3 wide in the corner, but you never know.
You got Schaefer and Hendricks right there.
Well, and I'm not sure who the leader is, if it's Park or Nidec. But if it's Nidec, I'm taking that inside row.
It's going with Nidec.
And if I'm Nidec, I'm taking that inside row. I want that 3 behind a car that's not me.
Yeah, because we all know Schaefer. We know how Schaefer drives. He's going high side.
Well, and it's easier for Schaefer to launch, being behind the leader, right? Because the leader controls the restart. So he sees that leader go, he goes. But if you go to the bottom and put Schaefer behind a car who's got to wait on you, that's going to delay him a little more.
I wouldn't want to be nowhere up there in the top. What?
10. I want to be right where Schaefer is on fresh tires. That's where I want to be. But if I can't be where Schaefer is on fresh tires and I'm the leader, I'm taking that inside.
This is... Who is Tony? Are we on our last green white checker?
I don't think so. I don't want to, broadcaster's curse here, but we've got fresh tires and we've got extremely old tires mixed up in here. I don't believe so. Nidec got a pretty decent launch. Looks like he's spun the tires a little bit, but able to feather the throttle enough to get it going straight.
Schaefer stuck on the high side, but here he goes making that run.
On fresh tires, he's going to go right to the lead here.
Banks shot it down.
Well, I think in their situation, you go where the cars aren't, right? That's the only way you're going to get back around. We see the 54 make it through. I imagine the 38 is going to make it through. We'll see if we take the white flag here. It's getting pretty dicey, pretty far back here.
It's in the books. Here we go.
We got the white flag. This is it. Last lap. Davey Hendricks pulls in through to third. Greg Rogers sitting in fourth. Dakota Horndorf in fifth at the moment. Third, he's trying to make a charge, get around John Nidec. 3 wide at the back here, Brandon Hughes, Chad Wiggins, and the 27 car. 4 wide, Brandon Park on the high lane. Brandon Hughes can't hold the bottom, gets up into Chad Wiggins. Chad Wiggins into the 27, 27 into the 14, 14 into the 83. We got a parking lot back here coming off of turn 4.
Schaefer able to get it. Banks gonna wrap it out in P2. Hendricks P3.
The 3 that went in under that last caution are the 3 that were able to drive back up to the front.
Jordan Miles wraps up P7. And I think we got one out of fuel. It looks like he is getting pushed. That's going to be the 42 of Dakota. I believe he is I believe he is out of gas, getting his shoves from Joey Maines. Schaefer was able to do it.
Yeah, fresh tires prevailed there. I assume they all had tires there at the end. I can't say for certain, but I assume they did.
Their pit time, 14 to 15 seconds. That's telling me they had it. Schaefer burning him down. All right, we're going to give a shout out to those sponsors, some Cutscene, Whiplash. Remember, use code AWG for Cutscene, get 10% off. We'll be right back with your top three.
It's been the first thing that's really worked for me to put me to sleep.
Helps relax me when I'm trying to go to bed.
All just really spectacular.
It also helps you put yourself into a routine.
I feel like I'm drinking lemonade. You guys give it a shot.
It works! It works! It's good!
Just try it.
Tony, I'm going to say that's going to be one for the books right there.
That was definitely a great race. A lot of different strategy calls there. A lot of action all the way throughout the race. Clean up until the end for the most part. I'm sure there's a few people that are upset with each other, but man, Auto Club never fails to put on good racing.
You know, 100 laps and you get, what, 3 cautions, 4, 1 for stage. So, you know, nothing to be upset about unless you're one of those ones that was on the receiving end of something that didn't happen for you.
Right.
But, you know, we're going to bring it up here with Davey. You know, he got that P3. You know, he only dropped 2 spots from where he started out from. But, man, he battled back after that last pit stop from about 14th up to P3. Davey, are your nerves good now? Are you all right?
Yeah, no, that actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was, I mean, when that flag dropped and we were a good ways back, I was kind of worried. But you know, we had a lot fresher tires than you know everyone in front of us. So I mean, Schaefer, Banks, me, Greg, all just kind of carved our way up through the field and got up to the front. Took a little bit, but we got there.
Well, man, it seemed like it was a good race out there. Fun race, lots of action. How was it out there tonight?
I actually really liked it. I was skeptical. I don't know, like I know this is a big track, but people tend to do, you know, not brilliant things like side draft really close or something like that that just turns people. But I mean, we only had 2 or 3 cautions tonight. I mean, I have no idea what they were for, but I just there's a lot less cautions than what I anticipated. But I mean, it felt great. It went a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Well, you wasn't involved in them, so that's always good. Because here
Yeah,
lately,
because I've had a lot of bad luck with Rex lately. So I was when Kivett turned like because that restart happened and it killed a bunch of cars. I need to go back and watch how close Kivett was to my rear bumper when he shot back up into traffic, because that that
It was
ju-
close.
that just about was another week of me getting wrecked because of someone else's problems. But yeah, this is the week I lucked out, and I'll take it.
Well, man, you know the routine, and unfortunate your teammate hadn't took your wreck luck of it. So
Yeah, I think Morris got into, but I think both Morrises got into something. Not sure how Chad fared. I know he had to pit at the very end because he was just dead set on having, trying to make it on fuel, and he just got unlucky with that last caution that made it to where he couldn't get to the end.
Well, it seemed like Chad had spun his tires, caused a big checkup on that inside lane. That's what caused one of those big cautions there. That I think that's the one that Morris Senior actually got caught up in.
Was it? Yeah. We I, I was like, all I know is my line didn't move. People were shooting left and right, and I just kind of just kept it even keel in the middle, and I somehow skated through that. Even passed a couple cars because we had to check up and do evasive maneuvers pretty quickly.
Yeah, there was definitely some maneuvers going on, but man, you survived it. Able to pass some cars at the end there, bring home a podium finish. So you know the deal, man. Shout out to yours.
Yep. Gotta thank Jabit PC first of all. They're the Xfinity sponsor. I'm thankful they come on this season. Allow us to put this on, have a broadcast. Put their name on our cars. All the other sponsors as well: Cutscene, GC Cruise Travel, Martin Sports, Exiled. They all put their money into this. I'm appreciative because it allows us every series to be broadcasted, which is not every league has the ability to do. Um, Everyone that showed up tonight, I felt like the Xfinity series has uh, been a really good series to run in. Despite my luck has not been super good lately, but I mean, we don't have a lot of cautions. It seems like the racing has been really good up front. The fields really haven't shrunk that much, so I'm thankful for the people that show up every week. You guys up in the booth, all the admins that put this on, my teammates, and everyone watching, and I think that's it.
Well, man, congratulations again on that podium. Nice recovery from last week, and next week, man, should be interesting.
No, see, I'm upset about this because we talked earlier, like just after this oval change comes, and it's dynamic track or whatever you want to call it, grooves changing, we get to go to Talladega. Um, I mean, we're not gonna see much of it, but I do love the idea of Talladega being that cutoff race. I think it adds to the drama that anybody can come up and win that race and get a shot to the playoffs when not everyone is great on mile and a half or short tracks or whatever. But I feel like at the super speedway, it really just is anybody's game. So I'm stoked to see if we can get any surprises next week and have someone sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, man, should be definitely interesting. And then, that's the last race. We move into Michigan, Atlanta, and so on and so forth. But definitely going to be an interesting season in the Xfinity series. A lot of fast cars out there, large car count. Definitely should be a good one to watch.
Yeah, I think it'll turn into a pretty good race.
all right, brother, we're gonna send you back down so maybe you can recuperate with the Morrises and
I'll take it.
keep them safe next week.
We'll give it a shot. I'll catch y'all later.
Well, Tony, last week we was talking to Banks for winning. This week we get to talk to Schaefer, but right
Last week
now
we talked to Schaefer, didn't we?
we talked to one of them. They swap back
We
and
talked to
forth.
both of them,
I
but
don't know. We talked to either one of them one week or the next, but this week we're going to talk to P2 Banks. Man, you had to fight through it, and that restart you seemed to got kicked a little bit sideways, and surprisingly didn't have that much damage, Banks.
Yeah. I screwed up there on that last pit stop. I didn't take any fuel, so we would have caught another one. I don't think I'd have made it, so lucked out there. But yeah, it was hard. You had to at the beginning, you had to drive it really hard off of four, and especially to try to keep up with Schaefer. So he seemed to be pretty even with me at the beginning and the end of the runs, but in the middle, he just had a little more than everybody else. So good win to him. Like I said, it was a tough race. I said these races where I don't feel like we have enough tires. I mean, I like the tire strategy. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of the people that do like to try to save tires, but I just don't feel like we had enough tires there, and it was like you had to make a decision at the stage whether you take tires and try to win the stage or try to save the tires and try to win the race. So I hate the way that plays out like that. I mean, we kind of lucked out and still got some stage points, so because everybody seemed to be on the same strategy, so it worked out. But if we'd have called a lot of people that took tires, we probably would have, we wouldn't have got any stage points tonight. So, and I feel like we at least deserve top five. So, but anyways, said it was a good race. I said all in all, it was really wasn't bad. I mean, not a lot of cautions. I thought there'd be more. This race tends to kind of run like Michigan, where it's got a ton of track space and we end up running into each other somehow. So, but it was a good race. A lot of fun.
You talk
Yeah.
about track space. Next week, you're gonna have a lot of track space.
Yeah, yeah, Talladega. It's all a lot of fun. It's well, kind of feel like I think I'm already locked in, which I'm kind of glad for that going into this race. So can go in there and actually kind of send it and then just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I think there's a few of you that are definitely a little more comfortable going in, but there's a lot who are not. So
Yeah.
it definitely should be interesting.
Yeah, I think we got a couple of the DBR guys kind of close to the cut line, so hopefully we can we'll try to push one of them to the win next week and get them some points and get them in with us.
Well, man, come up one spot short. Brandon Banks again. But hey, DBR guys are there every race. So, man, you know the deal. You got the shout outs.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, cutscene, Javit PC, you guys for putting it on. You guys seem like you have a lot of fun up there, and we try to put on a good show for you. People that come out and that come out and watch us every week, the DBR guys. Like I said, congrats to Shay for winning that. He deserved it. Like I said, if I'm gonna lose somebody, at least it's DBR. So put a good team points day together, and we'll go next week and see if we can push one of our teammates there.
Brother, we're gonna shoot you on back down.
All right, thanks, guys.
And Banks don't talk near as much as Schaefer does. I figured that out by having them both up here rotating weeks. But Schaefer is 90 to nothing, Tony, and tonight he pretty much earned that right. He moved up 3 spots. Didn't get the best qualifying he wanted, but qualifying don't matter when you finish the race in the win with a win. I mean, congrats on it, Schaefer.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Well, man, saw you up there leading, battling most of the race. If you weren't in the lead, you were fighting back to get up to the lead. How was that track out there tonight?
Oh, it was a blast. I had an absolute ball. I like the tracks where you can get it up on the right rear and just turn to the right and kind of Kyle Larson it around the corner, man. And it was a good time.
So I will say that I noticed you were able to run that bottom line probably better than everybody else. I would say Gary Sack was probably a close second, but man, you could wrap it around the bottom and maintain it. A lot of guys were washing up the track. I know you don't like to give out your secrets there, but man, I don't know how you do it.
99, he will.
Practice. Me and Banks set up a session earlier, and with all the DVR guys, but only me and him and Hastings got in there, and we ran over. I ran over 100 laps in there, and then the B official B opens this week. I've ran like 5 or 6 of them. So it's just all about making laps and making practice laps.
Well, man, we had you up here last week. We had you up here this week. What are you thinking for next week?
I'm gonna ride in the back pretty much until the end next week.
There you go. Yeah, you're pretty comfortable in the points. You got the wins that lock you in, so don't have to do anything drastic. Let the other guys wreck themselves out.
Yeah, yeah. Talladega is a fun track for me. I don't I don't like running in the middle. I'd rather either run up front or in the back. So 9 times out of 10, I'll just drop to the back and go back there with the boys and ride around until like the last 10 to 15 laps.
Not a bad strategy at all, man. Well,
No,
you've
no.
been up here. You know the routine. Shout out to yours.
Yeah, shout out to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thank y'all. Shout out to Jabbit PC and Cutscenes for sponsoring the league. Uh, all the admins, thank you for what y'all do and everything. Shout out to the DVR guys, man. It's always fun racing with them guys and having a good time, man. I'm glad Banks got back up to second there. Sucks Tony couldn't get in there, man. He deserved a top 3 or top 4 run, and he he kind of got screwed there. But yeah, it's kind of how the cookie crumbles, I guess. But nah, man, just shout out to Paul Setup Shop, Reefer Speed Labs. Yeah, that's it.
All right, brother. We're gonna shoot you back downtown and let you ride in the back next week, I reckon.
All right, man. Thank you.
With Tony, everybody's saying pretty much the same thing. They was expecting more cautions, and myself, I was expecting it more than just 3, and they all happened there at the end, pretty much.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting a lot of cautions. This track is kind of known for fuel runs, long green flag runs. It's one of the reasons that I enjoy this track so much. So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a caution here and there. If you get a caution late in the race, it's gonna probably bring in a couple more cautions. But I really don't expect a whole lot of cautions from this track, and I think we saw that tonight. Only had a couple cautions there. One for stage, a couple other for racing incidents. The end, differing strategies, fresh tires, old tires. You kind of expect something there, but all in all, great race. A lot of action, a lot of battling all over the track, a lot of different strategies. Man, it's going to be a good playoff season for these guys.
It's, I mean, it's gonna come down to the wire. I mean, we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people locked in with wins. That's gonna be Park, Regan, Hendrick, Schaefer, and Banks. And you've got another 11 spots that's open.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be. I'm kind of curious to see how the points are going to play out tonight. Once they get updated, some of these guys took some hits. Emmanuel Forget didn't show up, didn't request a drop week, so he's gonna tumble in the points. Gary Sack had a good night until he got the stage points, but then had to stop for fuel. That probably will be pretty close to evening out. There's several of these guys that had rough nights. We're going to see it in the points. It's going to bring them closer to that 16th place line. We had some of these guys that were lower in the points that had really good nights. And we're going to see them get a little closer to that 16th place line. So Talladega is going to be wild. We're going to see all these guys battling for points to get into the playoffs. They are going to be aggressive. We're going to see, a few of them that are, sitting comfortably in, riding around the back and just waiting. So definitely going to get interesting. Should be a great race next week.
I'm ready for it already. I mean, like you said, we've got 5 that's locked in, and you're gonna 11 other spots that they are gonna be made up. But right now, you got Maines, Nidek, Emmanuel, Kinsey, Sack. Like we talked before the race. From about what 10th to 25th, they're all separated by 30 points. So
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
it's I'm ready for it already.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a pretty big shakeup in the points after this race once the points get updated, and we're going to see some desperate people in here. Gotta win to get in, so they're going to do everything they can do to get themselves in position to win Talladega.
Tony, is coming to an end, and you know what? We survived another week, and next week's going to be That's going to be where everybody who hadn't got a win is going to be throwing that Hail Mary. They're going for it.
Absolutely.
But until next time, everybody, appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. Remember, get you some Cutstein. Use code AWG to get 10% off. And get a hold of Jab at PC. They're out of Kansas, and they do a lot of PC repair, security, IT, consulting. You know, their number shows up in chat. So make sure y'all give them a holler. But until then, we'll see you next week.
It's been the first thing that's really worked for me to put me to sleep.
Helps relax me when I'm trying to go to bed.
All just really spectacular.
It also helps you put yourself into a routine.
I feel like I'm drinking lemonade. You guys give it a shot.
It works! It works! It's good!
Just try it.